Hey everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and we have started with Mind Map series where I have already completed Mind Map on a chapter Life Processes. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the mind map on the most important chemistry chapter for this year board examination, that is metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals, one of the most important chapter that you have to concentrate. Say the chapter is quite a big chapter. It involves 5 major concepts, and the concept number 1 that you study is all about metals. Okay, so you are going to study everything about metals. So here about metals you are studying physical properties as well as chemical properties. So let us discuss physical and chemical properties little later. First, let me list out all the main concepts. And the second main concept that you will study is about the non-metals. Okay, you will study all about the non-metals. Clear? So, and the third important concept is about the reaction of metals with non-metal. So what happens when metals react with non-metals? Okay, so all about ionic compounds you will study in this particular heading, right? And the fourth concept that you are going to study is about the extraction of metals. Extraction of metals. Okay, so how do you extract various metals from earth crust is what you will discuss. And last but not least, you have to also study about one important concept, corrosion. You will also study about the corrosion. Okay, so these are the major concepts that you are studying in a chapter. Now we will discuss one by one what we have to concentrate in them. Clear? And the first concept, as I told you, the metals, the most important one. So here you will be studying two things. One is physical properties of metals, physical properties, and the other one is chemical properties. Chemical properties. Okay, so both are very important. So what you study under physical properties, say you have to concentrate majorly few physical property, that is ductility. You must know the word. What do you mean by ductile? Okay, and the metals are malleable. Okay, so metals are malleable, right? And metals are sonorous, that means they produce sound. And metals are lustrous, metals are also lustrous. Okay, so these are the major physical properties you have to discuss. Which metal is lustrous? I mean, almost all the metals are lustrous, but there are certain exceptions. Okay, so here there are certain exceptions, all of them you have to concentrate on. And coming to the chemical properties, you have lots of chemical reactions of metals actually. Under that, the first one is metals. Here I'll write metal on reaction with oxygen. Okay, can you tell me metal on reaction with oxygen, what do you get? You will get metal oxide, right? So this is the most important reaction you have to concentrate. So here you will study something called amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides. So these amphoteric oxide is a very important concept. For example, aluminium oxide and zinc oxide are examples of amphoteric. And what do you mean by amphoteric oxide? The oxide which can react with both acids and bases is called amphoteric oxide. isn't it? So the reaction of Al2O3 with HCl, reaction of Al2O3 with NaOH is there in your textbook, which is very, very important. Clear? Fine. And the next reaction is metals. Metals, when they react with water, you will get metal oxide plus hydrogen gas, right? And later this metal oxide can get converted into metal hydroxide also, that is with highly reactive metals, right? Sodium and potassium, which are more reactive, and when they react with water, you will get metal hydroxide plus hydrogen. So remaining metals which are not very much reactive, when they react with water, you will observe metal oxide and hydrogen gas, right? So this is the metals reacting with water. Clear? So the next reaction of metals reacting with acids. Metal plus acid. What do you get? You will get, let me write here, you will get salt. Okay, so as I don't have enough space here, I'm writing this way, but you have to write properly in your book when you revise. Okay, so when metals react with acid, you will get salt and water. This is another important reaction of metals. Okay, and the third one is metal plus metal salt solution. Metal plus metal salt solution. So this is nothing but displacement reaction, right? So you will also study about displacement reaction. Okay, so this is another important chemical reaction, okay, that you have to concentrate. And later, last but very important, that is activity series. Activity series. Don't forget to study its definition. Definition is important. Okay, so what do you mean by activity series? It is the arrangement of metals in the order of their reactivity. Okay, that is called activity series. You must know which metal is more reactive than which metal, right? Only then you can actually predict the products for these reactions. When metals react with metal salt solution, the products is obtained according to the reactivity of metals, right? Reactivity of these two metals. So these are the various chemical properties which you have to concentrate. Clear? So this is all about metals. And now let me discuss about the non-metals. So here also the two important concepts. One is physical properties of non-metals and chemical properties of non-metals. Okay, so nothing much to discuss about physical properties. All the physical properties of non-metals is exactly opposite to physical properties of metals, right? So here the non-metals are not ductile, non-metals are not malleable, non-metals are not sonorous, non-metals are not lustrous. But there are certain exceptions. Iodine, which is a non-metal, but it is lustrous, right? So there are certain exceptions. These exceptions, you have to revise them, right? And coming to the chemical properties of non-metal, so one important chemical property that you have to remember is non-metal when reacts with oxygen. Okay, so you will get non-metallic oxide. So this is one of the important chemical property of non-metals that you have to concentrate. Clear? Fine. And coming to the next chemical properties, these non-metals actually do not easily react with water, and they do not react with dilute acids, etc. Clear? So only one reaction you have to concentrate with non-metals, that is non-metals reacting with oxygen. You will get a non-metallic oxide which are acidic. Remember, non-metallic oxides are acidic. And where do you get metallic oxide? Here. When metals react with oxygen, you are getting metallic oxide, and that is basic. Metallic oxides are always basic. Non-metallic oxides are always acidic. Okay, try to remember this point also. So that's all about the chemical properties of non-metals. Okay, and now coming to our third concept. You know, when metals react with non-metals, you will study the formation of ionic compounds here. Formation of ionic compounds. Okay, so can you tell me what are the ionic compound formation you studied in your syllabus? You studied formation of Na2O, formation of NaCl, formation of MgCl2, formation of CaO. These are, and also MgO. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 important ionic compound formation you must learn. It can be asked for 3 marks. Okay. So there are 3 steps you have to mention. Always metal loses electrons, it becomes cation. Non-metal gains electron, it becomes anion. Later, cation combines with anion, attraction formed between them, that is called ionic bond, and these compounds are called ionic compounds. Okay, so another important concept that you have to concentrate here is properties of ionic compounds. Okay, so this is also very important concept. 1 mark, 2 mark questions can be asked. You have various properties like ionic compounds are soluble in water, ionic compounds in liquid state or in molten state, they will conduct electricity. Why? Because ions are formed in liquid state. These ions are responsible for conducting electricity. Okay, and also the one more important property, ionic compounds have high melting points. Can you tell me why? It is because the electrostatic force of attraction. How is ionic compounds formed? When cation and anion combines, and the attraction between them is very much stronger. Okay, that attraction is called electrostatic force of attraction, and due to this strong attraction, they will show high melting points. So all these are the different properties of ionic compound which you have to concentrate a lot. Okay, and now let us go to another important topic here, that is extraction of metals. Okay, so here you will actually study the 3 headings here. Okay, first one is extraction of high reactive metals. Okay, so can you tell me which are the high reactive metals? Sodium, potassium, etc. And how do you extract them? By the process called electrolysis. Okay, so by the process called electrolysis. So I have written a wrong spelling here. Just remember electrolysis, and there is a sodium extraction by electrolysis in your textbook. You have to concentrate that also. Okay, and the second one is, say, let me use another chalk. So this is very important. Extraction of medium reactive metals. Okay, clear? So usually these metals, here you will study the 2 processes called roasting. The other one is calcination. Roasting and calcination. So you must know what is the difference between roasting and calcination. Okay, See guys, here you will also study extraction of zinc. This is important. This was asked in a previous year board paper, how zinc is extracted from zinc oxide. Okay, so extraction of zinc is important, and you will also study here thermite reaction, that is aluminothermite reaction. You must know how to write the chemical equation for thermite reaction and what is the use of thermite reaction. Can you tell me what is the use of thermite reaction here? It is used to join the railway tracks. Yes or no? Or two cracked iron parts, if you want to join, we can use the thermite reaction, right? So all that is important here. And one more thing you will study here, that is extraction of mercury. Okay, so you will also have to concentrate on extraction of mercury from cinnabar, extraction of Hg. Okay, actually Hg is the metal that belongs to low reactivity, metal that belongs to low reactivity. There you will study the extraction of Hg, that is mercury from cinnabar. Okay, so you must know how metals with high reactive metals are extracted and metals with medium reactive metals are extracted, and how metals with low reactivity are extracted. All three headings you must know the actual concept with examples. Okay, so not only that, in the extraction of metals only, you will also study the refining of copper. Refining of copper is very important. You have a diagram and you must know how copper is refined. There you must know the definition like anode, mud, and etc. Right? Fine. And the last topic, okay, very important but very simple topic, that is corrosion. So what you have to remember in corrosion is, examples for corrosion is important. Okay, rusting of iron is one example, right? And silver becoming black is one example. Copper becoming green is another example. Can you tell me how copper becomes green here? Copper reacts with carbon dioxide. You will get copper carbonate, which is green in color. Can you tell me how silver becomes black? That is due to silver reacts with sulfur in the atmosphere and becomes silver sulfide, which is black color coating. Okay, and how iron gets rusted? Iron reacts with atmospheric vapor and oxygen, and iron gets spoiled and it appears in the form of brown powder, which we call it as rust. So rusting of iron, silver becoming black, copper becoming green. The chemical chemical changes that is involved in these processes is also important. Okay, and then prevention of corrosion. So prevention of corrosion is also very important. So what are the different methods that you use for the prevention of corrosion? We can use galvanization, we can use anodization, we can use oiling, we can use painting, and we can use alloying. So among all the methods, alloying is very important. Okay, so in case of alloying, alloy means what? They'll ask you the definition of alloy. They'll ask you the examples of alloy. They'll ask you the definition of amalgam also. Okay, so alloy, concept of alloys is very important. Definition of alloy, examples of alloys, definition of amalgam, okay, and uses of some alloys. Say for example, solder alloy is there. What is the composition of solder alloy? It is lead and tin. When lead combined with tin, you get solder alloy. What is the use of solder alloy? Solder alloy is used for making electrical wires. Okay, and then why alloys have lots of importance? Why alloys are used extensively compared to metals? Because in the alloys there are some improved electrical properties and optical properties. Okay, alloys melting point is different, and it's very much different compared to the metals, pure metals. And electrical properties are much improved in the alloys compared to the original metals. So that's why alloys have a lot of importance compared to original metals. At the end of a textbook, you have a paragraph completely on alloys, examples of alloys, various alloys and amalgams. So the entire paragraph, once you try to read line by line, okay, so even from that topic, MCQs or 1 mark questions can be asked, okay, or give reason type of questions can also be asked. Okay, so this is all about our metals and non-metals. So one quick recap I will do. Say first you will study about metals, physical properties you have to concentrate, and chemical properties are the most important thing. So when metals react with oxygen, you will always get metal oxide. So in this concept you study something called amphoteric oxide, very very important. And later when metals react with water, you will get metal oxide and hydrogen gas. And actually different metals react in a different way with water. Reactive metals, when react with water, the reaction is very much violent. The reaction is exothermic actually. Lots of heat is liberated. In reactive metals case, you will actually get metal hydroxide. Okay, and there are some metals which can react with cold water, there are some metals which can react with hot water, and there are some metals which can react with a steam, like iron and aluminium can react with steam. Clear? Remember this point, iron reacts with steam. Reaction of iron with steam can be asked in the exam. So when Fe reacts with the steam, what do you get? You will get Fe3O4 plus H2 gas. So all those reactions are also very much important. Okay. See, when metals react with dilute acids, you will get salt and hydrogen gas. Sorry, I made a mistake here. It's not a water. It is a hydrogen gas. This is also a very, very important reaction that you have to concentrate. The metals will displace hydrogen atoms from acids and you will get hydrogen gas. It's not water, it is hydrogen gas. Okay, and later metals when react with metal salt solution, displacement reactions do occur. The products you have to write based on whether a reactive metal is displacing a metal salt solution or whether you have less reactive metal. It is based on activity series. You have to write the products here. Okay, and don't forget to remember to study the definition of activity series also. So this is all about metals. And coming to the non-metals, study the physical properties and chemical properties. Under the chemical properties, this is the most important reaction. Non-metals reaction with oxygen, you will get non-metallic oxide, which is acidic in nature. And one more important concept from the chapter is the formation of ionic bonds and properties of ionic bonds. Very, very, very important. Okay, they'll ask you to write the dot structures of these compounds. Okay, the most expected question. And finally, extraction of metals topic. Extraction of high reactive metals, extraction of medium reactive metals, and extraction of low reactive metals. Examples and how do you write the equations are very important. And here roasting and calcination differences and their definitions are the most expected question this year. And finally, refining of copper. If asked, they'll ask you to draw the diagram, or they'll ask you to write the entire process, how actually happens. So the entire concept is important. And later about corrosion, you must know the examples and prevention method. Under that, alloy is very, very important. Okay, so that's all about metals and non-metals chapter. Hope this has given enough benefit and this is helping you to revise the chapter quickly, right? And let us meet up with the next chapter. Till then, keep motivated yourself, keep studying, don't lose interest, and stand as a topper. Clear? That must be your aim. So with this, I will end the session and all the best.